Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 11 and compare it against the iPhone 13 and see which particular phone is a better one for you. Now, I like both these phones a lot. I think they're very, very good devices, but it's funny because these two phones are very similar to me in a way. I feel like the iPhone 11 was the phone I recommended a lot of people for years, but now the iPhone 13 is kind of becoming that particular iPhone, which is kind of funny. So, if you want to pick up either one of these phones, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there, and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside, the iPhone 11 on the front has a 6.1-inch Retina IPS panel. So it isn't an OLED display, it's just an IPS panel, but it's not that bad. It's 750p, so it definitely isn't that great. Viewing angles aren't the best, but it still gets like fairly bright. And for a pretty cheap, iPhone, you kind of know what you're getting into. I think these phones are like around $300-ish now. So they're not like the most expensive thing in the world, and I think they still have a lot of capability and a lot of feature set. So that's something that's good, I guess, going on for this particular phone. But regardless, I think it's still a good device for the most part, and the body's still very good. You just have a lot of bezel around it compared to like maybe the iPhone 13. The 13, on the other hand, you are getting the same size display, so it's still a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So it's a very it's a much better panel than the iPhone 11. So I could definitely tell you that way. It's a better looking device. You have the bezels are much slimmer. It's a flat side too, which makes it feel that much more premium. And you also have that notch up top, which is much slimmer. So that is something that's actually very cool going on for this particular phone, that you have that type of capability, because it is, in my opinion, a very cool thing going on here. So it's still 60 hertz, but it is a full HD panel for the most part, and it's a very, very good display. It's a much better display than the iPhone 11 for sure. Now for the rest of the bodies, I will tell you the iPhone 11 does feel maybe a little bit more like significantly older because of its curved side. Because of that massive curve, you are kind of getting, a much smaller, a little bit smaller phone on the iPhone 13. You can kind of see what's going on here. You still get the volume buttons and the rocker switches and everything on the same side, but that is one thing to kind of keep in mind there. The thickness and thickness is about the same though. At the top, you're not really getting anything. At the bottom, you're getting your lightning ports and everything, which is great. Speaker grills at the bottom as well. And on the back side, you are getting your standard glass back with a dual camera setup. So I will definitely tell you in my opinion between both cameras. Both are very good wide and ultra wide cameras. We'll get into them in a second. But you can see with the iPhone 13, it is a diagonal camera. The iPhone 11's camera is like a top and down camera. So just one of those things to keep in mind there too. You're getting your standard glass backs on both, MagSafe capability, you're getting wireless charging on both, and you're getting IP certification as well. So this kind of stuff is very cool. I definitely do like this type of device for the most part as well. And I definitely do think like if I'm going to go ahead and buy a device, it's definitely by far, both of them are great. They have a lot of overlap here. They're both built relatively kind of around the same way. But I definitely would say if I'm going to go ahead and buy a phone, I do think the iPhone 13 is probably the one that feels a lot more modern than something like the iPhone 11. Another big asset for the iPhone 13 over the iPhone 11 is software updates. Now I'm pretty sure the iPhone 11 is going to be getting iOS 18, but I don't really have any idea how much longer this phone's going to last. I think after iOS 18, we might get like another version or two of software maybe. So maybe on iOS 19 this thing's going to end, but I'm pretty sure the iPhone 13 is going to last all the way up until iOS 20. So this one has a long time ahead of it. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. And that can be kind of a big advantage for people who want to go and have some sort of like a newer device, because you are going to be getting that type of capability on something like the iPhone 13. So if you're wanting the phone with maybe more of a future ahead of it, the iPhone 13 by far is the one I'd recommend probably a vast majority of people to go ahead and basically buy. So from that perspective, that kind of covers it up there. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both phones. The iPhone 13 has that Apple A15 body chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM. The iPhone 11 has that Apple A13 body chip inside of it with 4 gigs of RAM as well. So let's go see which one's the faster one between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background, so let us get into it. Let's do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. The 11 is here and the 13 is here. Kind of look at the iPhone 11 was faster. Music, 3, 2, 1. And I think the iPhone 13 was significantly faster there. Let's get into photos, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that one kind of covers that one up. App Store, 3, 2, 1. And you can definitely see the iPhone 13 was faster there. Scrolling through, let's see if there's a big difference, which again, I don't really think there's going to be this massive of a difference, but you can kind of tell right here that the iPhone 11 is, was a little bit slower than the iPhone 13, which is totally okay. That's kind of what's expected. Getting into some of these third-party applications, we can try getting into them. We can try Thank You, 3, 2, 1. kind of adjust it a little bit. And they both were kind of the same. You can see right there, basically the same thing. Netflix 321. 13 slightly faster. Quizlet 321. I think the iPhone 11 was faster there. Dropbox 321. Again, I think the iPhone 13 was faster there. BOFA 321. 13 again is a faster one. iPhone 11 slightly slower. Temple Run 2 321. Of course, these pop-ups. Okay, so luckily we got them on both. Oh, this one got into an update one. Very interesting. We'll just go and hop out of this one. Let's try the original Temple Run 321. Hopefully this one doesn't give me as many errors. I don't know why they even force you to update. It's so annoying. And surprisingly, the iPhone 11 was actually faster, but they were on two different panels. So again, we'll just kind of let this one slide out. We'll go and try Snake vs. Blocks 321. And again, the iPhone 11 was the faster one. The 13 was slightly slower. So I don't know why the iPhone 11 is beating the iPhone 13. And the glitchiness on the iPhone 13 was very, very weird. I have no idea what's going on there. Hopping on these two stack. 3, 2, 1. And you can see right there, I mean, the iPhone 11 was kind of the faster one there, and the iPhone 13 was, a little bit slower. So I don't know why sometimes the iPhone 13 is, faster and sometimes it's slower. I don't really know what's going on there. I guess it's just one of those things that ends up happening. But you can even see glitching. It kind of glitched out between all of them, hopping out too. But overall, I'll definitely tell you the iPhone 13 should be the faster one. But sometimes the iPhone 11 looks like it could be the faster one here and there. Now, from the camera side, you can kind of see what's going on. They both have, like I said, kind of similar cameras. The iPhone 11 wide and ultra wide, same thing with the iPhone 13. 4K at 60 on the front and the back, which is genuinely very good. But you are definitely getting the overall better camera setup on the iPhone 13. And the 13's camera is still very, very good for the most part. It's still like an awesome camera for sure. With the iPhone 11, you're still getting 5x zoom, which is really cool. I love this camera a lot. And you're getting 0.5x zoom on the outside. Still very good, like it's still very, very, respectable. And that's something I like a lot about this particular camera lens, that you have this type of capability. You're also getting video mode, slow mode, time lapse. You're also getting portrait mode and panorama mode, which is actually very, very cool. So that is something that I like a lot. And when I'm going through and if I'm buying some sort of phone, I'm glad that it has that type of capability. And it's like a good camera, and like, don't get me wrong, but the iPhone 13's camera is significantly better, which is something I love a lot about this particular phone. So with this type of device, you are getting 5x zoom here, which is very cool, and you're getting 0.5x zoom on the outside. So this is something that's actually very cool as well. Like when you're getting this type of camera and this type of device, it is genuinely a very, very good, nice camera to have. It's video mode, and it also has cinematic mode, which is another really cool feature. This is like portrait mode for video. A lot of other iPhones, the newer ones have it, but the older ones like the 12s and the 11s and below don't actually have it. So this one actually does, which is actually a very cool thing, and that's a big feature for the iPhone 13. And to be honest, if I'm being honest, I definitely do think the iPhone 13 is probably the better phone, and it's a logical upgrade coming from the iPhone 11. I look at a device like the iPhone 13, and I like this phone a lot, and I definitely do think this would be a phone that I'd recommend a vast majority of people to buy. It's an excellent device. It looks very good. It's very beautiful, and this is a very, very nice phone. The iPhone 11 I think is a very, very good phone too for the most part, but I don't know if this would be a phone I'd recommend people to buy anymore. I mean, I would recommend people to buy, but if you have an option, go for the 13. The 11 is still a good phone, but I'd definitely go, for the 13 if you have the option to. So that pretty much covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.